The divide on the right has just got even more spicy, though, because Tommy Robinson, who has this long-running feud with Nigel Farage, has now gone public and branded him a fucking snake over a donation lie related to Elon Musk. And you'll remember, Tommy Robinson is probably the closest person in the United Kingdom to Elon Musk after he funded his recent successful legal action versus the British government. Now, this all came out because of an egregious lie that Ben Habib, the leader of Advance UK, claims Nigel Farage told on GB News. So he said Nigel Farage, defending accusations of racism against himself, offered up a number of examples of why he is not a racist. Amongst them, he claimed he had declined a donation from Elon Musk because the donation offered was linked to him having to support Tommy Robinson. Presumably, Farage is of the view that one or both of Musk and Robinson are racist. That aside, for the record, Musk never offered Farage a donation, not a single dime. The possibility of a donation from Musk, about which Farage used to speak with such pleasure, was in Farage's imagination. By my own knowledge, and I do just tell you for context here that Ben Habib has had many direct conversations with Elon Musk, and he adds, by my own knowledge, offered a donation, Farage would take it no matter the identity of the donor or their conditions. So here are the two clips juxtaposed, which explains what Ben Habib was speaking about and what prompted Tommy Robinson to brand Farage a fucking snake. Watch.
Earlier, I asked both Farage and Nick Candy, would you welcome a donation from Musk? And here's what they had to say. Will Musk donate? Do you want him to donate?
I don't know. I'm, the fact that already today I'm going to say retweeted because re-X doesn't really work, but he's retweeted already a post about Nick becoming the party treasurer, and he said interesting. And I know Nick's got connections with him as well. Look, the fact that he's supportive of us, we're delighted with. If he wants to give us money, and it's legal money, we'd be thrilled.
There will be a chance to speak with Elon, and if he wants to donate, of course we'd love him to donate. If it can be done properly and legally and through the right mechanisms, then absolutely fine.
I would say this to you, though. In a long career in public life that lasts over 30 years, I've done more in this country to defeat the BNP, to defeat the far right. I didn't even take the money from Elon Musk earlier this year because he wanted me to associate with Tommy Robinson. I have been the force in British politics fighting against racism and against extremism. And it's only when you get near the target of perhaps winning a general election that all this stuff comes out.
Okay, so let me bring in Father Calvin Robinson and Howard Cox on this. Howard Cox, you're in a unique position here, of course, having previously been a senior figure within Reform UK, now a senior figure within Advance UK. Who's telling the truth here, Ben Habib or Nigel Farage? Dan Wootton Outspoken is available as a podcast too. So to listen or watch us on the go, wherever you are, then please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And as a personal favour to me, please rate and review, as it really helps our independent show.
Well, you know what I'm going to say. Ben Habib, of course. And he's got no...
So Nigel's just lying about his conversations with Elon Musk?
I believe so, yes. I really do believe that. And I'm sad to say it because, I joined Reform when I was asked by Richard Tice to stand for London Mayor because I thought Reform were the hope because I was fed up with the Tories. I'm a devout Thatcherite. And, the Tory party was just a Tory in name only, and that they'd lost all recognition of all the things I believed in. And Reform was showing signs of what I wanted. And I really believed in Nigel. But let's face it, Nigel just came back in. He wasn't leader when I was standing as London Mayor. He only came in when Rishi Sunak declared very quickly that we're going to have a general election. And then suddenly he just parachuted himself as leader. He knocked Ben out. He knocked quite a few other people out. From the party, etc. And that's the way he operates. And unfortunately, I've got lots of other things and examples of him telling untruths. And so I'm saying quite categorically, Ben has got it right, spot on. And he wouldn't have put that post out if he didn't think that was the truth.
Do you know who I really want to get involved here? Come on, Elon Musk. Come on, Elon
Yes,
Musk.
yeah.
Who's telling the truth? Was Nigel Farage telling porcupines, or was Ben Habib? But I think, Father Calvin, what Howard is saying there makes a lot of sense. It's fascinating, isn't it, though, to see the change in tone from Farage, who, when he thought had the possibility of receiving money from Elon Musk, was like a kid in a sweet shop. You know, oh, he's retweeting me. How amazing. And now it's like, no, I don't want this horrible far-right man who supports Tommy Robinson. He's totally changed his tone as soon as the money has gone off the table.
Yeah, there are two things to that. One is that Farage will accept money off anyone, off scumbags. He's done so in the past, does not care. He likes money more than anything. That's one thing we know about Farage. And the other thing is that clip that you showed from December 2025? That was a very interesting clip in that he admitted to being the destructive force of the right of British politics. He admitted to being controlled opposition, essentially. You know, we know that he destroyed the UKIP party, the Brexit party. He's probably going to destroy Reform Party if he's allowed to make some kind of deal with the Conservatives. He admitted to destroying the BNP party as well. Like, he's just decimated the right of British politics. And for some reason, people still seem to think he's right wing.
That is a really interesting point, isn't it, Howard Cox? Because I have to be honest, I'm getting sick of this argument wheeled out, and we've seen it wheeled out a lot over the past couple of weeks because of these new accusations against Nigel Farage in terms of his time at school at Dulwich College 49 years ago, which we'll come to in just one moment. But I'm seeing a lot, you know, Danny Kruger goes on the BBC and say, Nigel Farage is the one who's destroyed the far right. Actually, is that something to be proud of? Because we know that when the mainstream media talk about a far right, they don't mean a far right. What they mean is patriots who want to protect our borders. Why should Nigel Farage be so proud about having kept the far right out? Don't we have to reclaim that term? And shouldn't Reform UK actually stop this sort of ludicrous far right bashing? Because actually, it's lots of their voters they're talking about, especially when it comes to Tommy Robinson. Look at the turnout at Unite the Kingdom, for example. But first, a reality check. Data leaks aren't a once-in-a-while story anymore. They're constant and they're massive. When a mega breach hits, millions of people's details spill at once. Phone numbers, home addresses, even sensitive stuff. Worse, that data doesn't fade away. Data brokers and people search sites buy and resell it endlessly. So scammers, stalkers, even curious employers of your future can pull up your life within a quick search. That's why I use Incogni. In a murky industry, Incogni is the proof-driven service independently verified by Deloitte to request removals from hundreds of broker sites and private databases, follow up repeatedly, and log the confirmations as they come in. Here's how simple it is. Create your account and share only what's needed to find your exposed profiles. Authorize Incogni once, just once, to act on your behalf. They start the takedowns and keep chasing so your data doesn't creep back online ever. And the power feature custom removals on the unlimited plan if you spot your info anywhere, so court portals, company directories, people search pages, drop that exact link into your dashboard. Incogni's privacy team then takes it on beyond the automated list. Unlimited links handled by specialists. It's low effort, it's effective, and it gives you real peace of mind. They can't target you if they can't find you. So don't wait for the next breach. Head to incogni.com/outspoken right now and get 60% off an annual plan. That's incogni.com/outspoken. Protect yourself, your family, and your future. But now, back to the show.
Well, look, Advance UK is what reform should be. And that's it, full of patriots, full of, believe in sovereignty, believe in equality under the law, believe in free speech. But we're not seeing that from reform anymore. And, this label of far left, far right, whatever you want to call it, uni party, etc., actually sickens me, etc. We should be talking about the policies of what happens, to be proud to be British, proud of our Christian values. All of those sorts of things is what we should be pushing. And I don't hear that from reform. I hear them flip-flopping all over the place, going away from certain policies which are now aspirations, not promises. I knocked on doors in Dover when I came second in the general election. I got 24% of the vote in 4 weeks. I knocked on doors on the promise of that you wouldn't start paying tax until £20,000 of income. And now, you hear Richard Tice coming out, and I think he's in charge of their financial policies. I really don't know who's in charge of what at the moment, but now that's a big aspiration. So I went and knocked on the doors on a lying part of our manifesto, or Reform's manifesto, and that makes me sick. And that's one thing I love about Advance UK and the way Ben has set up the party to be a democratic party. There's no way Reform is democratic. You've got two people running it, and that's Zia Youssef and Nigel Farage. No one else has a say. And it's all very well that Andrea Jenkins saying those sorts of things. She threw that stick of dynamite into Miriam Cates. I think that was very unfair, and she shouldn't have done that on air. I think it's very unprofessional. And I do like both of those two people. I agree with Father
I think
Calvin
there's
Robinson.
been quite a long history between Andrea and Miriam, which is probably why that went down. I can't imagine that was sanctioned
I wasn't
by
aware
the
of that,
party.
Ben.
Yeah. I also just want to show you this moment from Lewis Goodall. I think the left are trying to trick Nigel Farage into admitting this bad behavior at school, and then they're going to use it against him forevermore. Now, I think it's very important he doesn't fall into the trap, Father Calvin, but I want to show you how Lewis Goodall is sort of representing the left here. It's what they're doing. It's like, Nigel, come on. Just admit you were anti-Semitic. Just admit you were racist. Then we can all move on. And it's like, as if you'll ever move on from that. Watch.
There is a world where Farage could have chosen and elected to meet with the people involved. He could have said, of course, some recollections may differ. It was a long time ago. I also think, just speaking personally here, I think we do have to be a bit careful about sort of extending the statute of limitations about
to
what we say
13-year-old
to
you.
13-year-old you or 15-year-old you, or what we
Absolutely.
say privately. We've got to be grown up about these things.
Yeah,
but it's also true to say, and so I think Farage absolutely fair enough there. And of course, if he feels strongly that it didn't happen, then fine. But it is clear that we've got 20 people, not just one person, not just two people, and there were contemporaneous notes that were uncovered by Michael Crick 15 years ago. It's clear that something seems to have occurred, and there is certainly a recollection that is the case, that Farage obviously denies the substance of it, but nonetheless. So it would be perhaps a good idea, just politically, if nothing else, to show that you're taking this seriously, to try and engage with it and nullify the story. But that isn't happening so far. Farage is just simply saying that it's a smear.
I mean, Father Calvin, don't listen to Lewis Goodall, right? Like, it's not going to be like Nigel says, oh yeah, I was really racist and anti-Semitic at school. And they're like, oh, fine. Oh, well done for owning up. We're just going to move on from that one.
You know my feelings about Farage, but I think he's absolutely right on this. I don't care what he said when he was 13 years old, whether he was racist or not racist, whether he's anti-Semitic or not anti-Semitic. He was a 13-year-old child, for goodness sake. I think he's right to not engage in this. I think it's juvenile, it's petty. I think they're digging. And if this is all they've got, they need to work harder, seriously. It's terrible of them to be dragging up his childhood and childhood friends and getting them to say, oh, I think I remember him saying X, Y, and Z. Stop it. It's lame. And for Lewis Goodall to be sat there and saying, oh, he needs to take this seriously and engage with it seriously. No, he doesn't. Nigel Farage is absolutely right to disregard all of this nonsense.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.